Welcome back to part 2 in our continuing series on Wizard 101's 10th anniversary, and today we're talking all things Wizard City.
You know, there's something about the classic charm of this 10-year-old game that's just super captivating.
Agreed. From the music to the familiar faces and places around the commons, it's Wizard 101.
Just 10 years of incredible memories. And the Firecat's now out of the bag, and we can announce that we have updated Ravenwood and the new player experience. It's just so exciting.
Players were anticipating it because we had those Renee Woofton quests in the commons.
Well, speaking of Renee Woofton, we were so excited to surprise our associate producer Renee Wooten by naming the NPC after her.
We wanted to figure out how we wanted to tease this to the players because we knew it was going to take a while for us to revamp the entire front end of Wizard City. We decided to do a construction crew because we were going to essentially knock down all of the buildings and rebuild them. And so once we decided we wanted to use a dog, I went over to the character artist. They were making a black dog, and I kept making comments about how I loved that it was a black dog because I have a black dog named Sadie. And so I had made all these comments. It took about 2 months to get the entire construction crew made. They were modeled and animated. And then I happened to see a task for one of our designers to change the name of the construction worker to Renee Woofton. And the team had kept a secret from me for at least 2 months that they were going to name the construction worker after me, which was super flattering. There was a lot of tears. But it was definitely an honor because, I mean, I never would have, pursuing this career, I never would have expected that I would have a character named after me, so.
Immortalized in the game history.
Yeah, and
Cool.
Such a huge milestone, too. That's very important to me because it's not very often that MMOs turn 10. So it's pretty unbelievable.
You know, introducing those Renee Woofton quests will always be one of my favorite things about KI Live. That was just awesome.
Aww. And the voice is amazingly professional and talented as well. So wonderful.
Yes, I recognize that voice. I wonder who voiced that.
Anyway, Renee did make a great point that not a lot of MMOs turn 10, and we really credit that to staying true to our original vision.
And that our community was with us every step of the way. Thank you.
The original design team that came up with the gameplay and the tone and feel of the world, they just did a fantastic job. The challenge that I've always faced when working with the rest of the design team is making sure that our content feels like it's part of Wizard 101. We try and keep true to that original vision of the game.
One of the things that's exciting about the 10-year anniversary is we're revisiting Wizard City, and I think that if we can bring in more people, that they will find that they haven't just found a game, they've found like a wonderful community, because that's really what's, I think, let Wizard 101 have such longevity is you really feel like you're welcomed with open arms to the community.
We really can't say it enough. Thank you to our community. We have one of the best ones out there. And thank you for making it more than just a game.
We hope you're as excited about this new Wizard City update as the team is. I mean, we are just so excited. We wanted to make sure we stayed true to the Wizard City of the past and the original Wizard City vision. And we wanted it to be like a new pair of glasses when you update your prescription. It's still the same world, it looks the same, but it's just more vibrant, richer, and full of life.
Yes, and our artists have been dying to redo that front end of the game.
Yeah.
They swear those files are haunted. They're so old when they touch them that strange things happen, so this is awesome.
It definitely was a labor of love for the team. A lot of them put in tons of extra hours just to make sure that your favorite characters and zones were just right.
Overall, the big changes in the way we build things, the adventure zones, like the zones where we actually have combat. We used to actually, because we were a very small team of approximately 3 environment artists, sometimes even 2, we used to build them in little chunks that were like Lego pieces. So you'd build like a T piece and a straight piece and a right angle and a left angle. And you maybe have a couple variations of each of those things, but now most of our combat zones are built to order. So if you're doing something like a forest, instead of it feeling like you're on this little path and it's a tunnel straight through the forest, now it actually feels more freeform. It actually feels like a forest. It's more organic. We've consistently, as we've gone through, tried to up our poly count little by little to give a little bit more detail here and there. We've also increased our texture resolution. So if you go back and look at like original Wizard City in classic mode, you'll notice that the everything's really grainy. It's really pixelated. If you look at it in the new kind of redone version, everything's going to be clean and soft and much nicer feeling. I hope they look at everything. And the environment side, we put so much time into tons of like little details that go around a world that you always feel bad when you're watching walkthroughs and someone's just like blazing through and they don't even see it. But then when they do catch it, it's really nice. One of the fun things that was added in is there's a little tree by the library that in classic mode is tiny, and in the new HD mode is kind of grown up into a full tree. So it's this weird little like time warp kind of feel. On top of that, the library, I think the library just looks a ton better. Merle's office has more color and more life to it. Oh my gosh, I want him to freak out. I want him to just kind of like when you go someplace that's in real life that's like kind of magical, and you just kind of like are like, you know, your jaw's just on the floor and you just kind of want to look at everything, you know. I want to see the person who's basically running around and be like, is more, oh my gosh, what does Merle's office look like? Oh my gosh, now we gotta go to the library. I want to see what that looks like. Oh my gosh, now I want to go over here and see what that looks like. You know, that's the, I can't wait to see videos of that ilk where people are so excited just to go places to see what they look like and see if there's anything different. Like that I think would be the ultimate compliment.
Not only did the graphics change, but our sound engineers went to a lot of work to update the music and sound of Wizard City.
It is the perfect complement to the new look.
Ooh, and what a magical 10 years it's been. Wizard, Ravenwood needs you now. Please hurry. Time is of the essence. Woo!
The sound team puts in such hard work to make sure everything is as rich and robust as possible.
They really do bring the characters and zones to life.
Speaking of bringing our characters to life, once we saw how alive all the characters were with the new talk animations in Mirage and Imperia, we knew we had to bring that to Wizard City as well.
The first character I made back in 2007. I got it side by side here. I clipped one of his wings so I could fit them both on the screen, but as you can see, here's the original Gamma. I took some liberties and kind of helped redesign this new Gamma. We've got transparent lenses. We have a little higher resolution textures now, so we can add a little more detail to it. A little more geometry as well. You can see now he actually opens his mouth a little bit. He's got a blink and his eyes can actually move around independently. So
that is incredibly cute.
Well, yeah, he's cleaner shaven. He took a little bit of dirt off his face over the years. The old Malistaire, you know, he didn't have any mouth controls. Every 5 frames comes up and down. He's just doing this, blah, 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 blah. We have twice as many bones we're able to animate with these days, but we haven't gotten any more time to animate a character. It still has remained the same since day one. And so that's about 1 day per animation. I love Wizard 101. His textures are twice as big. That's a big thing. That's probably the first thing you're going to notice.
That is a scary new version of Malistaire, Underbite Malistaire. He's a new end mob. He has more of a Trollus feature when you do that.
Yeah.
Do you ever just sit around and goof off with characters like that?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
I bet never.
Strictly business.
A test run with all these changes is happening right now, but soon a new class will be in session.
Wizard 101. Classes start soon. Are you ready?
Are you ready? so much for joining us.
Wait, what are you doing? You're not leaving, are you? We can't leave. We've got more to show them. Imperia Part 2. We got to show them Imperia Part 2.
No, Tom. We can't show them it. Not yet. Not yet.
And I'm excited.
No. But we have to save something for Part 3. Remember Part 3? We talked about this, Part 3.
Yes, you make a good point. Okay, well, we'll see you next time. We'll talk a bit about Imperia Part 2.
We'll see you next time.